is today? Today's Thursday. I'm sorry. I have no idea what day of the week it is anymore. I almost have to wake up and look at a calendar to figure out what day it is, what time it is. I got no idea. I think that's just where we're going. Time is melting away. It's all becoming one big melting pot of experiences. So I'm waiting for my friends to come find me. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to do some sharing. Let's see if I can find me to do that, and I'll watch for you guys to join in because it feels like a really good day. I'm enjoying life. I hope you are too, as much as you possibly can. Let's do this. Sorry, I'm so sorry I bumped you. I see someone. Thank you for joining me. Julie Kiss, thank you. I'm trying once again to share some things out before I get started while I wait for everyone to gather at the playground. We're actually gathering at the classroom today. The weather's kind of grumpy. We're going to stay inside to play today. And there's a reason why I say that, because you'll see. You'll see. If you have the ability to share, please do so. While I'm sharing, sharing. Let's see, a couple more and I'll quit, and I'm going to be completely yours. Okay, that's enough. Oops, I don't ever share to my own homepage, and then people go, where did you go? Let's just share there. Hopefully that worked. I don't know. We'll see. Julie, hi. How are you today? It may be just you and I playing today. I don't know. It's a busy day around here. So, breathing. How are you feeling today? What is your weather? What are you up to? I can tell you that it has been a couple of days of weirdness for me. There's a little part of me that needed some healing. And so that part of me kept coming out to play for a couple of days. And she seems to have received her healing. And so she's in a much better place today. I woke up and just feeling a whole lot better today. So I hope that we have some people join us today so that we can have some fun at the playground. And if it's just you and me, it's fine too, because we'll have fun no matter what. Our angels are joining us in the playground. I can feel it at my back now, that heat. Hi, Geraldine. Thank you for jumping in. So I've done a little bit of sharing. I hope you guys will do a little bit of sharing. We have some really cool energy popping in. I see Sandy. Sandy, I hope you're here to play today. I haven't seen you, Miss Sandy Van D, in a while. You always bring a playful energy into the room, so I love that. I hope that Rosie dog is doing well today. I love that Rosie dog. I wish I could meet her. Hello, Miss Sweetheart Sandy. So, what's going on in your world today? How are you feeling? I really want to know if... I always like it when I've been in kind of a slump and then I hear other people, that sounds bad, but I hear that you guys are kind of going through it too, because I feel like we've got this universal healing going on right now. We're getting so much help from our angels, from our guides, whoever you choose to call on. So truly, for the past couple of days, I've been not near as deeply into the dumps as I used to get. It's great how we keep moving up, and so our little roller coasters seem to be leveling out. So I had some things that kept, it's like this little nagging voice in my head. It just keeps popping up. Well, what about this? And I'm like, no, that's enough. Today I put that little child in the corner, in the timeout corner. I'm like, nope, not going there anymore. And so today, hi Terry. So today, when I say meet at the classroom, we've done this before and we're going to do it again. And I'd like, as you guys start joining me, I want you to go into your little inner classroom again. If you didn't do this before with me, I want you to think about different parts of yourself. You know, we always say layers of the onion. We've got all these parts of ourselves, and we keep digging deeper and deeper, and we keep finding more little injured parts. Well, I picture them as a classroom of children. Okay, Julie, you will be better soon. We're going to send healing your direction. Um, Good morning, Terry. She said, good morning, guys. So you are inside of you. Visualize this with me today. Inside of you is a whole classroom of little children. We've done this before. And I want you, as we're gathering right now, I would like you to visualize that little classroom and see if you can focus on the one little child that's in there that needs your attention today. And spend some time with that for just a few minutes. Geraldine says, finishing up my intense healing today and tomorrow in preparation for final leg of spiritual process I'm going through today, working on high heart and throat chakra in particular. Very good. Very good. It just keeps moving, doesn't it? It's like, okay, what am I going to work on today? What am I going to work on today? And it's become our full-time job, hasn't it? It's so many of us are at home. We're not doing other things. We're getting the time to really work on ourselves. So I've been working on, I'll tell you the little child that I'm focusing on today, the one that I've just put in the timeout corner. This is the one who felt very neglected as a child, who tended to be in the classroom. I tended to be the child that was in the back someplace, didn't quite get the attention that some of the... Did you ever think about this, okay? When I was a little girl, I was kind of that little plain Jane. I was the quiet one that would kind of keep to myself. I didn't really make much noise. I didn't make much fuss. I also didn't draw a lot of attention. And so I've spent a lot of time feeling very alone, feeling like the little girls with all the little ribbons and the really nice clothes. They were the ones that were getting the attention, and I was the one that was back out there someplace that was just kind of neglected, feeling neglected. Whether or not I felt very neglected. And so that little girl sometimes, the last couple of days, she's been popping up saying, you know what, I need some attention. I need to come out and I need you to just love on me. I need to be noticed. I need to be remembered. And part of me, I'm realizing right now, thank you for that message, part of me has been very hard on that little girl recently, even the last couple of days. Like, would you just calm down? You know, like, you're okay, you're okay. That's not what she needs at all. She doesn't need to sit in the back and just hear she's okay. She needs me to pull her to the front of the classroom. So what child inside of you needs to be pulled to the front of the classroom today? What part of you needs to be heard? The message that I received this morning, I told some of you girls in Coffee and Conversation, with Terry and Gerald Ann, I told you this morning that I had these stories. Well, hi Wendy, thank you for popping in. The stories that are coming through to me today are, we each have beautiful gifts, each one of us, and we each have a place in this movement. We each, all of us, equally. There's no one that stands above anyone else. And so you have an important place in the classroom. You, all of you, you have a very important place. We're all being pulled to the front of the classroom right now. And what is it that is your gift? What is it that's the most prominent right now? What are you working on? You may have had plenty of gifts. Some of us are mediums, or we channel angels, or we channel source energy, or we have all these different things. But what is it today? Hi, is it Ramon? Wendy is here. Jenny, thank you for... Jenny, I'm so glad you popped in. Let's see, Cheryl Ann. I was always in the back because I was tall and no one could see over me. I always tried to make myself small. Didn't we all, Cheryl Ann? I think so many of us. We didn't want to let our light shine too brightly. You know, we might have been right from the start. We had a beautiful light, and yet we just kind of hid ourselves in the back of the classroom someplace because, for whatever reason, we thought that we weren't supposed to be noticed. We covered that light. You being so tall, me feeling like the plain Jane. I was very poor as a child. I felt like I didn't really have, the nicest clothes or those really cute saddle shoes. Do you remember, if you were close to my age, all the little girls had those black and white saddle shoes, and they were the cool ones. They were the ones that got to sit in the front of the classroom because they had those cool shoes. So many of us, so often, it's funny how kids will do that to themselves. They feel like they're not as good because their families maybe can't afford to put them in those really nice clothes, or and it's not just us, truly going to school is very difficult for a sensitive child. We oftentimes we feel the energy. My daughter did this. She would have migraines just about every day. She would come home very, very unhappy. And oftentimes it was because she had such a high sensitivity, and she would be in the classroom and the teacher would just kind of look at her funny, and she thought, man, she must really hate me. And when I realized that she was thinking this, when she was it was actually making her sick, physically sick, being in public school. And she finally opened up to me, and I said, that teacher is not necessarily, we can control what we think other people are thinking about us. We can't control what they think. And there's a very good chance that that teacher is not directing that negative energy at you at all. There's a very good chance that that teacher's having a bad day. Maybe she just found out that someone she loves is very sick. Maybe she's in a bad relationship. Maybe, she's just very unhappy with her own life, and it's coming out, and you feel it because you're super sensitive. All of us, I think, in this group are really, really sensitive. So we oftentimes, wait a minute, I see somebody else up there. Who else is here? Hi, Angie Taylor. I thought that was you. What is it? What is that little child? We're looking for that little child inside of us right now, for those of you that have just joined me. We're in the classroom. You are a classroom inside of you. You're loaded full of these little children. Some of them are happy campers. Some of them are the little, they're bubbly and they're in good shape. And then sometimes we've got those little children that really need our attention. And we're going to try to pull those children up to the front of the classroom today. What child is it in there that's being your little squeaky wheel, or is being super quiet and maybe not getting the attention that he or she needs right now? Can you bring yourself into that space? We've done this before, and I feel like today it was like, yeah, because I'm feeling it the last couple of days. I have a little child that needs my attention. We're all just loaded full of these little people inside of us, and they're so sweet, every single one of them. That classroom full of children with all their little teddy bears and all their sweetness, those ones that sat at the back that were maybe a little dirty, that didn't get the attention from the teachers that they needed. That little child, that's my story. I just remembered it again. When I was in kindergarten, man, we lived out in the country. We didn't have anything. I wasn't snazzy at all. I sure didn't have the cute clothes. And so I remember we had this substitute teacher in kindergarten. I don't remember why she came in, but she came in, and she was kind of a heavy-set grandmotherly type. And she would do story time on her lap. And she, one by one, every child in the classroom got to come sit on her lap while she read stories. And I remember being just little. I was very small. I started school at 4, and I was very small. And I remember sitting there in that classroom waiting for my turn. It's going to be my turn soon. And she kept picking one child after another, and it finally came down, and I was counting. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't been up there yet, and I think she got everybody else. And so I remember thinking, it must be my turn. She's going to call on me next. This is my little injured child. I hope you're finding her. This is mine today. She's going to call on me next. And when she asked who hadn't been up there yet, I raised my hand. And she looked at me and she said, no, I think that you already got a chance. And she looked at the classroom and she said, ask the other kids, has she already had a chance? And I don't remember what their answers were, but somehow I didn't get that chance. She thought that I'd already gotten a chance. I don't know if she was mistaken or if she just chose not to. I don't know. I always took it as, oh man, I'm just not good enough. I'm not good enough to go sit on her lap. She doesn't want me there. And I have carried that little girl around with me for a very long time. And so the last couple of days, she's been coming out to play. She's like, hey, remember me? I'm that little girl that still wants to come to the front of the classroom, wants to sit on your lap, wants to be held, wants to read to the classroom. I want to come forward. Do you have someone like that inside of you? And I can guarantee you probably do. Do you have that little child right now? Are you pulling her to the front of the classroom? We got lots of seats up here. So bring that little child, her or him. Sandy, wait, is she healed or now just understood? I don't think she's healed yet, Sandy. I think that's why I do understand her better. I understand why she still comes out to play sometimes, why she still haunts me. I don't know if that's the right word, but sometimes I can feel her because I haven't fully healed her yet. So she's coming back out. This is the process of working with the inner child. It's a process that was given to me slowly through my guides, my team. It was, wow, you got a lot of little pieces inside of you. And as these memories come up, or it may even just be a feeling, you may not even have the actual memory, but I will guarantee you that if you'll spend some time with your child, that one that's feeling that pain, those memories will start to come up. And what happens is those memories come up because it's like, okay, she's still holding, she's still there. That little girl of mine is still in that classroom waiting for that teacher to pull her up in her lap. So can I go into that memory and can I help her to change that? Because our children, they're very creative. These little inner children are super creative, and you can actually, it's very healing to allow them and help them to change those painful memories so that maybe then the healing can come forth. They can release it. It's more of a release, I think, than a healing. It's in the release, in the surrender, in the release, and the letting go of it. That's when we find healing. And my little girl inside of me has found healing in ways that she has shown me. She comes out sometimes and she's like, I'll be resting, and I see her doing something differently. Something happened differently. She's remembering something differently than what actually happened. And it's pure magic. It's like, wow, did you see what she just did? She is incredible. Your little inner child is so incredible. She has this imagination, and sometimes those memories are just kind of twisted. The child's brain, the way that they're processing things, it's not fully developed yet. So what if there's this little nagging part of that memory about me not getting into that teacher's lap that's like, I feel as if one of those days that I was there, it was short. It was like some little thing, like she asked me to take the book up to the front of the classroom to her or something. There was something there that maybe she mistook as being my chance to be a part of that. And I didn't take it as the full experience. In my little girl's eyes, I didn't get the full experience of sitting there through the full story. But she remembered that. And in that, and letting that go, that little piece of it, maybe I was good enough. Maybe she did include me, and I just didn't remember it that way. It makes me want to cry. You know, that's the work that we do here. When you're pulling this little girl up, is there something about her or him, some little place where you can remember that something happened the moment that it happened when she said, I'm going to just stay back here because nobody really wants me? Can you put yourself in that place? Julie, need to heal that little child. Perfect. Let's work on that little child, okay? I want you to really visualize yourself. Jenny, I'm sitting right next to you. We're going to play. Do you ever like Cats in the Cradle? That was one of my favorite games to play in school. I don't know if you all know what that is, where you're holding the string and you just keep one person pulls it and it ends up on their hands, and then the next person. Let's sit together, all of us little injured children, all of us that have had these different pains that are learning now to cooperate with one another. Cats in the Cradle takes complete cooperation. We are working together on this. There's not one of us is better than the next. Not one of us is worse or more hurt than the next. We're all in this together. So let's pass this little, pick your partner and start playing Cats in the Cradle. Put those strings on your hand. Even if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll have to show you later. But put the string on your hand and pretend that the next, Cheryl Ann, thank you, you're so sweet. Start passing that, sorry, the energy is big. Start passing that string from one to the next and do your little, pretend like you're doing some kind of cooperative. And I hope that you guys that do know what this is, you'll understand how much cooperation it takes. You got to do it just right, and it passes off to the next person. And then that person does it just right, and then it's on their hands. And the string keeps going around the circle from the next to the next to the next, because we're all in this together. No one is better than anyone else. We're all equal. We're all so loved equally, so loved beyond belief. Like, there's no competition for the love because there's so much of it. It's so abundant. Like right now, I know that our souls, our physical selves more, have gone through a lot. There's been times when we felt some true scarcity and pain. It's like the gates of heaven are open here right now, and there's so much love. There's no competition. We don't have to compete in the classroom anymore. We get to be equal partners working together cooperatively, and each one of us is being given beautiful gifts, and our gifts are being enhanced, and we're being called into action. The dream that I had, I spoke about it with Coffee and Conversation today, is I said just a couple of days ago, I was walking with Jim, and I said, I feel like it's nearly, now I do this all the time because my kids are like a circus, but this was me personally. I said, I feel like it's nearly time to take my circus on the road. Sound, tell me, has my sound completely gone away? Someone tell me if you can't hear me. I'm waiting. I got 2 people that popped off because of no sound. I can hear you good. Jenny can hear me. All right, I'm going to keep going. If maybe I lost it for a second, I'll keep going. I have a new phone coming today because I'm going to fix you guys right up. Good, Angie, I'm glad you can hear me. Okay, thank you, Alyssa. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Geraldine. Sharon Boyle, thank you for joining us. So, Laura, thank you for joining me. Laura says, I've been through many little things like that, but I suppress them and don't remember no matter how hard I try to remember. Laura, the feeling is still there, okay? So I really want you to visualize, please go into that space inside of yourself. See yourself as little children. They might be little boys, little girls. It's a whole classroom. And some of them are just playing gently with each other, and they're being so easy. And you can tell they're happy. And there is usually, when we do this, we'll find at least one child that sits back in the corner someplace by themselves. Can you visualize that little one? And you don't need to remember. You don't need to remember every detail. You only need to remember when you can put yourself in the place of something, some little place that maybe you remember. For me, it was this house. As a child, I would get put up at the top of the stairs in the dark. Go back to that place, wherever it is. If you don't have all the memories, get yourself back to that place for just a moment, in a place of pain, something. If you can't remember all the details, you might remember where, or some of the feelings that you had when you were a child. I want us to find these little children, and I want you, when you find her or him, I want you to pull them into the circle so we can cooperate together, so we can continue to play this game together. And so that you can reach out, and you can put your hand on the shoulder of the next person, and you can let them feel the love. And as you're doing this, if your child is super sad, try to be the adult for that child. You be the teacher in your classroom. You can call that child over and let them sit in your lap for a little while. Just rock them. And as we're doing this, I'm feeling the energy building. Breathe it in. Relax. We're not suppressing anymore, Laura. We can't keep pushing these memories down. We can't keep pushing even if we don't have the memory. We're being directed to release. So as we're sitting here, our archangels, we have Archangel Michael joins us every day. And so we're going to ask him to come in, and anything that you're ready to release, any lower vibrational energy, if you have a pain, a lower, something like, oh please, like desperation, fear, anything that comes out of fear. I'm afraid I'm going to get left behind. I'm afraid that I won't have any friends. I'm afraid that people don't want me. I'm afraid that I'm going to get stuck back here at the back of the corner, or I'm afraid that mommy and daddy aren't going to pick me up after school. I'm afraid that I won't have food. I'm afraid that the kids will make fun of me. I'm afraid that my shoes aren't pretty enough. What are you afraid of? What were you afraid of as a child? Can you put yourself in that place? And then I want you to just take it. I want you to pick it up, hold on to that little fear, okay? And as we're sitting here, let's play a little catch, okay? You got a little ball in your hands. Let's make it a ball of yarn. We've been playing with string. You've got a ball of yarn in your hands. It's soft and it's pliable. And I want you to hold on to it. And I want you to just push your energy through your body, that negative energy, whatever it is that you're holding on to. When you're ready to release it, push it out from your heart space all the way out down your arms. Can you feel it traveling out your fingers? And it's going into that ball of yarn. Anything that you're ready to let go of, it can be multiple things. Whatever you want. That yarn, that ball of yarn is as big as you want it to be. And I want you to spend time there and continue to breathe. We have a lot of healing energy in the room right now. A lot of it, it's all centered around my solar plexus. This always happens when we're doing inner child work. It's all that stuff that we've stored up, that little, what we've done before is that little attic space. There's things in there that no longer serve us. So let's go ahead and take them out. Let's do a little clearing of the solar plexus chakra right now and let go of those things. There's so much. It's almost taken my breath away. And someone's got something right here. If you've got a headache or something, we're going to put some healing on that. Focus your energy. Let yourself feel better today. It's okay to feel better. Release. We're just letting go. Relax your shoulders. Pull it from that belly space. Just breathe up really good. Let it travel up to your heart. Feel it, wrap it all up sweet with some heart love. And then I want you to push it out your arms, into your hands, and into that ball of yarn. Anything that you're willing to let go of today, it's okay to let it go. You will get a return of energy that will lighten you up, that'll give you wings. You'll be ready to fly. So let it go. Don't let it hold you down anymore. They want us to fly. Isn't that beautiful? Our angels want us to fly with them. So do it again. Keep doing it as long as you've got any of that. If you're feeling that pressure and that right here, right under your rib cage area, if you're feeling that, please continue to let it go. Bring it up. Bring it up. Let it come up to healing. Bring it into the light. Don't hide it anymore. Let it push that air right up through your arms, into your hands, into your ball of yarn. We're going to see how big we can make this. Keep winding. You know how a ball of yarn is when it's all pulled out. We're pulling it back in and we're winding it into a big ball. Keep winding. Let's make it as big as we can. Let's work together on it. Pull it together, guys. Keep working. Let's see how big we can make this ball of yarn. So much releasing going on. Thank you for letting go. I still feel a lot in the belly, so let's keep on looking for those things. Keep on releasing. It's okay to let go. It's okay to surrender. There is nothing like surrendering. It's only taking you back to who you really are. That's all we're doing. We're taking you back to who you really are. And who you really are is so incredible. So let's let some of those layers go. We're putting it back onto that ball of yarn. We don't need those wrapped around us anymore. They're just tying us down. Keep visualizing yourself, pulling it up. Any place that you're carrying that negative energy, wherever it is. And as we're doing this, we're going to allow the earth energy to come through our feet. And that earth energy is going to grab a hold of anything that is no longer serving you. If you say yes, just say it to yourself. Yes, I don't even know what it is. I want to let it go. I don't need to remember all those things that have happened to me in my past. Some of those things will never come back to me, and that's okay, but I don't want to carry them inside of me anymore. So I'm pulling that earth energy up through the feet. Can you feel the heat? It's coming up through the feet, up the legs. It's hitting the base of your spine, your sacral chakra. And it's coming right up through, and it's just going to blast right down through that little warehouse you got in your belly. Whatever no longer serves you, just say, yes, I'm letting it go. I am laying it down, I'm letting it go. Be that child, just let it go. Let it go. Bring it right on up. Just got a big old blast of love from your heart space. All the way up through. Clear that third eye, clear your throat. I had a lot of big energy going through my throat chakra today. You can do that too. Yawn real big, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out. Go right up through. And then whatever you're letting go of, you've wrapped up in that big old ball of yarn. And we're going to take that big ball of yarn. I want you to visualize yourself right now holding it up. Let's just hold it right up in the sky. And Archangel Michael's going to come around. He's going to grab it. He's going to take it away. He's taking it all away. You can lift it right up. Give it up. Just give it up. How does that feel? I just got about, 10 pounds, maybe more. I just felt a lift off of my heart that was huge. So let it go. Let it go. Your children, every little part, every little child in your classroom that's inside of you deserves to go out on the playground and play today. They're just running out. We're going to open up the classroom doors now. They've been working so hard. They are happy. They're joyful. Wow, I feel it right here. It feels so good. I hope you can feel that. There is so much joy right now. These children have released. They've let go of those things that no longer serve them. They're like, woo, took it right off. Like the raincoat. The sun is shining finally. They've taken all those layers of clothes off and they're just free to go out there and play. So let's go out there and play for just a minute. We got a little more time. We got a little more time today. What do you want to do? Alyssa, what's going on with you? Let me keep on watching you guys because sometimes you guys, you lose me. Jenny, I must be alive today. Electricity in my fingertips. Oh, I love it. I love when you start feeling that electricity in your fingertips. That's like we're being given magical powers, isn't it? There's nothing like it. Rub your hands together right now while you're doing that, Jenny. Rub them together. Feel that electricity. Can you feel it? That's what we are. We are all made of all of that electricity and that power. Did you ever watch the movie? I just splashed on it. Powder. Powder was this. His mom was struck by lightning when she was pregnant, and when he was born like he looked very albino. He was very, very white, and I was just seeing this part where he was finally free, where he was running through the field, and the lightning came down and struck him, and he disappeared. Like he became everything in that second. He suddenly became electricity. He was a part of everything. That's really the truth of who we are. We're stuck in these little bodies, and yet we are electricity, Jenny. That's what we are, and we're getting that experience. We can feel it running through our bones, which is why it's so important to ground your energy off and get back out there and sit on that rock, hug those trees, because we are. You do this thing I've shown you guys before. Balance your energy out. Get it all balanced out. Shake it out, little kiddos. Shake it out. Let that energy balance all out. Let yourself feel grounded to the earth. Sit in the dirt. You are little children right now. Visualize yourself going out there and sitting in that sandbox. Sit on the earth. Let the earth ground your energy. And let it give you that sense of, oh, how awesome you are, how incredible you are. The God of my understanding. I'm like, I love Jesus. I've gone back and forth. I've gone through my pagan. I've gone through all these different, and I've picked up the parts that I like. And that's something that I do like. I feel very strongly about, is that sense of being pulled up into my Creator's lab. So whatever the God of your understanding, if you have one, whoever that is right now, you're being pulled into that kind of love. That kind of remembrance of who you really are, the child of the King, the child of royalty, a child that is so blessed. That's who you are. Can you feel it? Laura, my solar plexus is always tight. Well, we're helping to release that tightness today. That's what it's all about. Julie went back and forth from Catholic school to public school. Parents could not afford tuition. Hurt so bad. I bet it did. I was put in a lot of different schools when I was a child too. I think a lot of us that have had that happen, it's very difficult for us. We feel very out of sorts and ungrounded and like we never really fit in or never belong. So, Wendy, I'm glad you came back to us. Yeah, if there's no sound, some people are getting it, so I don't know what's going on. Glad you feel lighter, Laura. Alyssa, feel calm. Memories of my childhood are prominent in my mind for the past few days. Keep working on that, Alyssa, okay? We're working to shed lower vibrational energies like crazy right now. So when this stuff comes up, those parts of you need some attention. Don't be afraid to let them have the attention that they need. Go ahead and let them come up. Julie, share in power. All right, you're so welcome, Geraldine. I love you. All right, Sharon, is that film on Netflix? I don't know, but it's on maybe Amazon Prime. It's called Powder, and it's really, really good. So it's an older movie, but there's a lot in it that might touch you. Okay, Wendy, she made me frightened to go to school. Who was it? Oh, a teacher. I was had a really horrible teacher when I was 10, made you frightened to go to school. It's so hard for me. It hurts my heart because my children, my oldest had a teacher like that, and you know, kids need to feel safe, and it can be very scary going to public schools, especially when you're super sensitive. It's part of the reason why I've done a lot of homeschooling, because I'm so sensitive to their needs that I just want them to feel that sense of home. Maybe I overdo it, I don't know. Whoops. I think I just did that, sorry. Hold on. That's better. I disappeared. It's difficult to feel safe on a planet when you are super sensitive. Some kids, it just rolls off their back. They just don't even notice it. And then there's those of us that are like so injured by the littlest things. So we're trying to put some protection around that child today. Wendy, thank you so much. Alyssa, I spent a lot of time by myself, and I realized it made me think that maybe no one wanted to be around me. Now that I'm older, I realize I was protected from bad influences which were all around me. I never was really alone. I was recently told that I have 10 assigned guardian angels, 5 of which are archangels. That is incredible. It's powerful. Isn't it amazing when we realize that all those years that we spent feeling so alone and so unwanted, we were just unaware of all of the love that was always surrounding us. We are never alone. You're never alone. You're so surrounded by a team that is so powerful. And if you can, and they're like really pushing, they're like, if you could only see how loved you are and how many of us are here for you. You've got ancestors, you're absolutely wrapped up. You're absolutely wrapped up in love. Don't forget to reach up for them. Just look. Just look. Are you there? Yeah, you're there. Okay. Here, take my hand. Help me get through this. I have to remind myself. I often, when I start to sink, I forget to ask for help. I'm just like going through life, and I'm like, I don't feel so good today. I was just doing this last night. Really not feeling so good. And this morning, because of the good dreams that I had last night and a good meditation, this morning I went, geez, I'm so silly. I'm never alone. I've got this huge network around me that's always supporting me and always loving me, and I just forget that they're there. So I'm reminding you today, now that you've found that little child, to please talk to your little children that are inside of you and say, hey, you're never alone. You're never alone. You needed to hear this when you were small, and maybe nobody told you. So I'm reminding you today, you are never alone. You are so loved. Don't forget to ask them to help you. Do you like those blinds? Did you see my printer too? The Steve tree is excellent. It's just sitting there. It's very cloudy today. He went through the storms yesterday. I trusted him. I didn't even put the chairs around him. I was like, all right, Steve, you got this, little man. You got this. And the Steve tree is standing there just as happy as he can be today. So he got a good rain shower. He got lots of windy exercise yesterday. And he's doing fantastic. Thank you for asking, Wendy. I feel like you all have adopted the little Steve tree. Wendy says, yes, we should ask Spirit for help. They do respond. They always respond, even in the little things. I can't sleep. Let me ask for help. I've got a little indigestion. Let me ask for help. I'm a little sad today. Let me ask for help. I fell and stubbed my knee, stubbed my toe. I need, it doesn't matter. They love you so much. They want you to call on them in the good and the bad. Thank you. You know, remember to say thank you for being here with me. Thank you for supporting me. All of that stuff. Have a one-on-one interaction with the angels. All of us have access to the archangels too. It's not like some people are more special than anyone else. They just like they come from right here. They can be everywhere at one time. Truly, they're working with you and me and everybody, all the millions and billions of people, all the time. All you gotta do is say, "Hey, could you come help me?" I remember after Steve died, I had an Archangel Michael on speed dial because Terry, angel, is the one that said, "Hey, have you asked your angels? Have you asked the archangels for help?" And I'm like, "Can I do that?" And then I was like, "Well, I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna." My little child is smart, and she's like, "Well, let's give it a try." And that is the first good night's sleep that I had in months when I asked. So please remember that you are so loved. They are here for you. They're not just here for certain people. They are here for all of us. Yes, he is growing strong, little Steve. Thank you, Wendy. Christine, thank you for joining us. We've got a little more time if you guys have anything that you want to talk about. I love to give you the floor too. We've done a beautiful little exercise this morning. I thank you guys for joining in with me. Batman, yeah, Steve's the Batman. It's funny that he was always my superhero. When he came into my life and took me on and 6 of my children, he set about fixing everything that was broken, you know, inside me and outside and with the kids. It was like he came into our lives as a superhero. Somehow he just was the most incredible man. He wasn't perfect. None of us are perfect, but he was so loving, and every morning he loved me, and every night he loved me, and there was no, between childhood relations and the first husband that I had for nearly 20 years, it was like, I love you and I hate you, I love you and I hate you. And now, when Steve came in, it was like, I just love you all the time. Even when you're sick and you look like death warmed over, when you wake up in the morning and you don't look so great, when you straight out of the shower and you're a drowned rat, when you're angry, when you're hurting, all the time, just loved me all the time. That's a superhero. And then when he passed, he still came around and he still showed me his love. He became the Batman when he passed. Super strong, super loving. So he was quite a guy. He was quite a guy. You are so welcome, Julie. I think we're getting to the closing point where we've all worked so hard today to work with our inner children. I would love for you to continue to hold that child in love and support today. One little exercise is not enough. They continue to need us. They continue to need little hugs and support all the time. So keep going into that little classroom that's inside of you. Keep looking. Yeah, he is still here to show love. He shows a lot of people love now. Thank you, Wendy. Well done. That was a nice little love bomb coming from him, so I hope you guys felt it. I love when he enters the building. You mentioned his name. It's like, okay, here I am. We sent up the bat signal. So I'm sharing that love with you guys. I hope that you can feel that. Pure source energy. That's what he is. Steve brings to me now the love that I would expect to experience directly from God. That's what he feels like. That's what we all are. That's what we become. So love bombs all around. Let yourself have a little bat energy today. That was very sweet. Thank you, Steve. He is so special, Julie. It's not just me being lucky. We're all lucky in love. We're all lucky in love. Laura, you are so welcome. Angie. There's a little laugh coming through right now. I can see him laughing. He's standing there with that big silly smile on his face. So he was a goofball, still is, still a goofball. We hold on to that part too. You guys, please enjoy your day today. We're coming up. We've been 45 minutes. Jenny, my Nana, comes to me most of the time. My grandma does too. Isn't that beautiful when the grandmothers come through? My grandmother was Eleanor, and she comes through to help me do my writing. She gives me, I feel her. She's like always, I got your back. That's the sense that she gives me. Like, so when I feel her come in, it's like I feel her hands on my back. I got your back, sweetheart. I got your back. Wendy, you're exactly true. He is everyone's Steve. Truly. He was mine for a while, and then after he passed, he just slowly went back to everything, and now he comes. If you'll notice, sometimes you'll see the rainbows or the butterflies, or you'll feel his energy. You see Batman everywhere. I've had lots of friends come to me and say, guess what I saw? And they'll send me pictures or send me songs that he's given to them to give to me. I just think he became a part of everything for everyone, just like all of us will. So it's a beautiful thing. He's shown me what we become, what kind of energy we actually, the truth of who I am, the truth of who you are. When you feel that love from your loved ones, when they enter the building and suddenly your breath is taken away, that's you. That's you. We're all so connected. You guys, thank you so much. I'm glad that you joined me here today. I think it's been very magical. Jenny Mary, was her name, and she lived with her. Let's see, and you lived with her lots of times as a child. She made you feel safe. That's how my grandmother was too. She was the one to make cookies with me. She was the one that would sit with me and read me stories. I used to write about my grandmother's thumbs. The way she held the book, I could see her thumbs, and I used to look at them from the time I was a little child. I have her thumbs. My thumbs curve just like hers. Yes, Wendy, we did have Batman in the clouds last night. He made himself known. He's like, I needed him last night, and whenever I need him, whenever I need to feel a lift of energy, it's like he finds a way to show himself to me. So we all got to enjoy him a little bit last night. Mary is very sweet too. I love that you brought Mary into the room. Alyssa, I tend to have lots of ancestral spirits come to me. It is because I acknowledge them and respect them. Key to connection, exactly. That's what I tell people. If you're losing people now, if you've lost people in your past and you don't know how to contact them, you don't know how to feel them, you have to create space for them. I used to take my dog for a walk, and I would say, Steve, will you join me? I'd ask him to take a walk with me, and I would feel him like electricity. He would be there so often. Don't lose that space. It's very difficult when someone passes away. We see the empty space. We physically see the empty space. He's not here beside me anymore. His shoes are empty. His closet, the clothes are there and nobody's wearing them anymore. There's that empty space that hurts so much. That's where grief comes from. So what you do is you create space for them. You ask them to stay. Ask them to still. They're still going to do their stuff. They got stuff. Steve is very busy. He's still very much a light worker. That doesn't stop. You're a light worker here. You came here as a light worker. You were a light worker before you ever came here, and you will always be a light worker. And Steve is still a light worker working very, very hard for us. And these people that are passing, many of them are light workers and volunteered for this. They volunteered to die through a big event like this so that they could continue on their work in spirit form. So remember that. It's very important for us. That's a serious message, but it's important. And so they're still very busy, and yet they still find time. They'll still reach out to us if we're paying attention. So when you're like, oh, I wonder if that butterfly is from Steve, or that rainbow, it is, because that's what I believe. That's what I envision. I'll ask for a rainbow, and suddenly there's a rainbow. And I'm like, oh, Steve did that for me. Can you create that space for your loved ones still? The veil is very thin. They're trying so hard to communicate. They're trying so hard to give you that love, to let you know that they're still very much alive. All you have to do is believe in that and allow it and make space for it. So whatever you're going through, don't forget. Thank you for bringing that up. I think that was Alyssa. Thank you so much. Even those that aren't necessarily your ancestors, it's beautiful. Exactly true. Exactly. There's so much spirit around us all the time. So much love. Can you open to it? Can you just be like, oh, I'm going to stop? I used to tell my kids, if you could just not believe for just a little while. Just not believe. Which means you're just surrendering to it. I'm just not going to doubt it. I'm just going to sit here and allow it. And when I started to allow it, I started to feel him. I would walk right into him. Man, his energy was strong right from the beginning. I would walk right into a great big bear hug. I couldn't even breathe. I was like, oh, okay, hello. There you are. He did not let me feel alone. He brought me through. That's what we have. That's what they're going to give us if we let them. Your mom, Wendy says, your mom is everywhere you are. Yes, they love us so much. I'm glad you agree with that, Wendy. They're only a whisper away. That's beautiful. You're only a whisper away. I don't even have to yell. I have a little bat signal in my bedroom, and when I get lonely, I turn it on at night and I look at the bat signal at the ceiling. I'm like, are you seeing this? And he's like, yep, I am. And I'll feel him curl up beside me sometimes. Yes, they see you. I guarantee you they're seeing you. They're feeling you. They're here. They're wanting us to know they're here. Shooting stars. Angie, yes, I get that with shooting stars in the clouds I see. In the clouds I see my mom. Exactly. Isn't that beautiful? I used to say that. I was like, who else could say they got a guy in their life that is capable of bringing rainbows and red birds and butterflies and everything in nature, all these wildflowers. I get bouquets daily from him. Still, even now, in the relationship I'm in now, he's the one that brought me the man that I have in my life right now. There is no doubt that he brought me this person. I was just telling that to Jim the other day. I said, and this is not ego at all, I said, you should feel very, very honored that Steve trusted you enough to bring you into my life. So know that, please, that these when you have these events happen in your life that are so miraculous and you're like pinching yourself, you're like, how is this possible? How can life be this good? How could I have come into something like this? Well, guess what? You you got some help. I know I'm getting help. I know you're getting help. I know that all of this is in your plan and it's beautiful, and you are absolutely surrounded by angels that are leaving you synchronicities and signs and a treasure map to lead you to exactly where you're supposed to be at all times. You are never alone. This has really gone into some beautiful stuff today. Thank you guys for joining me in this conversation. Let's see, Alyssa, recently I went to Calusa Native American Preserve where they had burial mounds, and they sent me to the biggest butterfly I've ever seen, bigger than my head. Oh my gosh. You just raised a big love bomb in my heart. I love that, Alyssa. Wendy Roberts, absolutely beautiful. Her heart is my heart, and we are one. Makes me smile. I know she was with me. The mom, yes, your mom is with you, and she is so much a part of you. I had something happen. I'm going to tell you this experience really fast because we're going to be out of time. I went to Boston. I was writing Anchor Light with Paul and Caleb. Caleb did the photography, so I had to go to Boston, and we were all going to work on the photography. Let me tell you, my grandmother died a little over a year before Abby came along, and Abby used to spend a lot of time with an imaginary friend, and she would tell me, my grandma's here, and I'm like, really? And she'd say she's sitting in on the couch, and I'd say, well, that's just what grandma used to do. She liked to sit on the couch and read to her grandchildren. This is her great grandma, actually. There was lots of experiences with her. She was very much a medium when she was little. But I was driving to Boston all by myself, and I was going like 70 miles an hour down the road, and I smelled her perfume, my grandmother's, and I was like, my grandma? And I thought, I'm just going to talk to you. So I was like, I'm sitting there and I said, Grandma, thank you so much for being in my life, for continuing all the good that you're doing for us. Thank you so much. And then I said, and thank you for visiting Abby so often. And as soon as I did that, I had this like this pressure come through my third eye, and I said, I am Abby. It flew out of my mouth. It was not me talking. It was like my grandmother just was like, boom, she was there. And I had to I started shaking. It came out so fast, I'm like, and I covered my mouth and I'm shaking. And I pulled her on the side of the road, and thank goodness I had just stopped for tea. So I had some sugar in the car, and I'm sipping on it to calm myself down. And it was like, wow, wow, wow. And it took me a little while to understand it because my grandmother has always visited Abby, but my grandmother is Abby. And so we are so complex. Our beings are so complex that a part of us stays on the other side all the time. A part of us stays with our loved ones after we pass. A part of us is capable of reincarnating into physical form. And that part of my grandmother reincarnated into my daughter. And my son, who had been very, very bonded to my grandmother from the time he was a newborn baby, told me when I was expecting her that this is my great-grandmother come back again. And so here I am with this beautiful little girl who is so beyond her years, who is so protective, who is just an incredible old soul with the knowledge of knowing that this is actually my most beloved person. I loved my grandmother so much, and she loved me so much, and she came back to me. in physical form through my daughter. And that's like one of the most incredible stories I could ever. So be aware. Be aware that sometimes they come back. We are all a big soul family. We get to come back. We get to choose if we want to come back and be with another part of that soul family in physicality. And she did. So let's see. What else do we got real quick before we take off? Wendy, let's see, Alyssa saying it really was, I knew not to go into the actual burial mounds area at that time, and that was the thank you that they sent me for the respect. That's beautiful, Alyssa, truly. I'm glad you were listening. That's what it's all about, is listening, isn't it? Jenny, I'm lucky my mom's still on this earth, but 5-hour drive away. Well, in spirit, you're always connected. I connect with people on a spiritual level through that golden cord. That's how we do distance healing. We can connect with each other. We can feel each other's energy. Just tune into that. You'll feel her. Even being 5 hours away, you can still connect with your mom. In spirit form, in physical form, whatever way you choose. We're down to the last 5 minutes. What else we got real quick? You guys have kept me going today. I love this. Wendy, let's see. Angie says, my mama goes to my mother and her siblings called my grandmother Mama too, so that got my heart. My mama goes to my friend who is a strong medium and is like, go home to my girl, she needs you, haha. Bossy mama love. Makes me laugh, love her so much. I love that story. Angie, that's beautiful. Wendy says, Spirit put me in touch with my dear friend Christina O'Rourke. Excellent, excellent. It's good that they're making these connections, aren't they? It's like, pay attention, we've got to connect. We got to help you make these beautiful connections so that you can get to where you need to be, so that you can have a loving friendship, whatever it is. Angie, sorry, not go home. Go. It's all right. Uh-oh, Jenny's lost sound again. Reload, Jenny. Facebook's playing games with us today. I'm really sorry. Angie, precious. Yes, she is precious. And I'm so grateful and so thankful that I get the opportunity to not only grow up with this loving energy of my grandmother, but then to be blessed with her returning to me through my daughter. It's like fairy tale. I can't even tell you how much it blesses me. Jenny, glad you're back again. Spirits playing games with all of us today. Yes, they are. Facebook spirits. Jenny Prouse. Wendy's asking if you see them. Do you see these? I think it's the spirits. Angie, that's today. That's beyond beautiful. You are so welcome. Strong presence with Jenny Prouse. Yeah, we can feel them. I've been a feeler my whole life. I can feel the energy of angels and my loved ones. To be able to see them, sometimes I'm blessed with that. Sometimes I hear. I'm becoming more aware. But you hear a beeping. Oh, you know why? Because we've got all kinds of work going on down there. There's trucks because they're doing a bunch of tree work. Sharon Boyle, rest today. Very good. Rest. Your guides are telling you that you need to be still today, then do all the resting that you can find the time for. Claire sent it. Very good, Jenny. Very good. You're feeling. That's what I am. I'm a feeler. All right, Sharon, the sun has stayed out for over an hour now, so been sat in a conservatory with warming. Okay, as strong winds are outside and noisy neighbors. Yeah, at least you got that sunshine. Carol Allen, thank you for joining us. I don't know if I said hi. I think I said hi to you. They send those, they keep popping back up, so I'm sorry if I say hi too many times. All right, you guys, I see where we're getting on to that 10:30 mark. I'm giving an hour here. Let's see, Alyssa, I feel always and sometimes here, but I rarely see, only shadows or impressions. So I see, allow yourself, there's a lot of clearing going on here. Allow yourself to continue to know inside of you. And allow those gifts to keep evolving. That's the word I want, because we are truly being opened up and our vision is becoming much more clear in many ways. So know that you can be gifted with that if you're so willing to allow it. Ask for it. Ask your angels. Ask your guides. I want that too. Okay. I've gained in abilities in the past 2 years in ways that I never dreamed possible, just by saying, okay, bring it. Whatever you want. My basket's always open. I visualize that. Bring it. And they do. They really do. Alyssa, I'm empathic, so I feel the energy around me acutely. Exactly. We're so energetic beings, and everything around us, those that have already passed, they're still energy. We never lose our energy. We just go from one form to another. Exactly. All right. Wendy feels and gets thoughts. Very good. It's beautiful, isn't it? And I was getting that message today to remind you guys that the gifts are wide open to you. So please make sure that you ask for it. And even if you don't know what you want, just say, yeah, whatever, bring it, bring it. Alyssa, I was scared to see as a child because when little I could feel less than happy entities. That's exactly what happened to Abby. She was playing with imaginary friends. She was seeing spirit all around her. She was very, very gifted. At about the age of 5, there was a little boy that was around her that she used to be scared of, that used to come while she was sleeping. And she got very, very afraid. And so now, every now and then, I'll get it out of her that she's seeing spirit again. But mostly she pretends that she's not because she's afraid to see things that are scary. So when you let go of fear, if you let go of fear and you hold yourself in a higher vibration, those lower vibrational energies can't get anywhere near you. You got to hold yourself up there. Get your heart filled with love, and then the scary stuff can't come anywhere near you. And then you're only seeing and sensing and feeling those higher energies that lift you up. That's the trick to it. I gotta go, you guys. It's 10:30. They're gonna boot me off of here. You guys keep having this conversation with each other. Jenny, you're so welcome. Thank you guys, all of you, for this conversation. I love that we had that classroom time and then we were able to discuss all of this spirit stuff. It's beautiful. We should have a show just for this. If anybody's interested in that, let me know, and we'll just sit around and talk about this beautiful energy of spirit. How's that? The energy of spirit. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I am blessed by you today. You are safe and protected and wrapped up in love as you go out into your day. That's our intention. As I will, so let it be done. I love you. Take good care, and I will see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Bye now.